Welcome to Hunting with HECS.
Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. In today's episode, we're going to show you the HECS effects on a wide variety of popular hunting species. You know, birds such as geese, ducks, and turkeys are especially attuned to the electric and magnetic fields. They actually see them visually, and they rely on them for navigation. Today, we set out to show that using HECS to conceal the hunter's electrical presence is a huge advantage, and there's no better way than to sit outside the blind in the wide open and gauge the reaction of these geese. I think you'll be amazed at what we saw. Then we head to South Africa, where the diversity of animals is amazing. There's no better place to test the effects of our HECS suits on such a wide variety of super wary game animals, and we were determined to push the limits of our suits. So sit back, relax, and join us as we go hunting with HECS.
Closing the distance, calmer game, better shots, happier memories. It's what we all crave. It's what we all desire. It's what we all dream about. The close-range, fair chase encounter with wild game is the essence of the hunting experience. Join us as we chronicle the evolution of concealment, testing skill, knowledge, technology, and equipment, becoming the ultimate close-range predator. Own the close-up experience here on Hunting with HECS.
We're going to start with some waterfowl hunting. We were after geese on this trip, and I was looking forward to trying HECS out on some wary Eastern Oregon honkers. We set the decoys up in a heavily used feeding area, and it wasn't long before we were seeing birds. We get so many questions about how HECS performs on waterfowl that I decided to push the limits and show you how well HECS really works. As crazy as it sounds to you seasoned goose hunters, I decided to forsake the layout blind and sit out in the wide open. Almost immediately, we have birds overhead. We had several opportunities and were able to take a couple nice birds.
Yeehaw!
When one bird landed in the decoy spread right in front of us, I decided to use it as a chance to show the effectiveness of the HECS suit. Totally opposite of everything you've ever heard about skittish geese, I decided to stand up and walk towards a goose and see just how close I could get wearing my HECS suit. Like we always say, strange things happen when you're wearing HECS. You know, by diminishing your electrical signal, it makes you appear more like an inanimate object. So animals and birds don't pay attention to you as much, and you can get much closer, and they'll be much more relaxed.
We had some pretty cool HECS stuff. Obviously, we're pushing the envelope. I'm the crazy guy who says I don't want to set in the layout blind, and anyway, we didn't. And we had some geese come in today. We got 3. But the cool one, for me anyway, was the one that lit out in the field. And so I just got up and just see how close I could get. And, you know, I'm not an expert goose hunter, but I guess that's a little rare. Yeah, I was probably inside of 20 yards, well, definitely inside of 20 yards before I finally flew. So more of an execution than a hunt at that point. But anyway, that's again, that's what HECS does for you. You know, it gives you that edge. You know, you got to realize how birds see. Birds see electrical fields visually, and it's one of the ways they tell what's living and what's not. And what our material does, it blocks that electrical field, so you look more like an inanimate object. Obviously, when I got up, that goose saw me. He knew I was something, but he didn't necessarily recognize me as something that was alive. Let me walk right up to him, and ended up, we're going to put him on the table. But guys, I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. I hope we can get out here and do this some more.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by Game Hide. Hunting wear is all we do. Tough Country. American values forged in steel. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and UC Hunting Properties. Matthews. See the future. Easton. The world's deadliest, most advanced hunting arrow. Ozonics. Scent control that works. For the best hunting in Texas, visit GreatTexasHunts.com. That's GreatTexasHunts.com. And by HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
You know, that'd have been a great buck if he wasn't all busted up. You know, I've been wearing HECS clothes for a couple years now, and that's another example of how fantastic it works. You can't even explain it. You need to try it yourself. Last year, my wife Karen and I were out hunting elk. We called in 2 herd bulls to the same spot, shot about 600 inches antlers in less than 2 minutes. Never seen that happen in my whole elk hunting career, and they both looked right through us like we weren't even there. Sitting in a blind here in Kansas, a good buck showed up on camera, so I decided to sit there, and over 5 days I had 5 different mature bucks, some of them almost walking into the blind. Ended up killing my buck there. None of them ever looked at the blind. It's just amazing how close you can get to animals wearing these clothes. You know, the HECS guys have been getting testimonials from hunters all over the world. Videos, photographs, letters, talking about not only the big game, elk, bears, antelope, white-tailed deer, but also waterfowl and turkeys. It's amazing what happens in the turkey woods. These guys are sitting in lawn chairs, calling turkeys in and shooting them with a bow and arrow. Hundreds of people can't have it wrong. Do yourself a favor, get a HECS suit, and try it for yourself in the field. You'll be amazed.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. Don't you fly away. We have a lot more HECS action coming up right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS.
Summertime is pretty slow around the States for hunting, but in Africa, it's prime time. This past season, my daughter Caitlin and I decided to load up and head for South Africa for some plains game hunting with my buddy, Phil Phillips. Caitlin and I had hunted South Africa before and scored on a bunch of nice trophies, but Caitlin was still waiting to check a good warthog off her list, so that's where we decided to focus first. As luck would have it, we were covered up with animals and none of them had the slightest clue we were anywhere around. It wasn't long before we saw a good warthog coming in. Oh my. Well, you can see how jumpy everything is here too. And these are some of the wariest critters too. These warthogs are super jumpy. So, you know, we're all wearing the HECS, all running ozonic, and tell you what, all worked again, didn't it?
Done.
Traditionally, archery hunters in Africa hunt in ground blinds over water holes. It's a great way to see lots of animals and it's very effective. But here at HECS, we just have a need to always be pushing that envelope. So I decided, instead of sitting in the blind, I'd sit outside the blind in plain view and just see what would happen. The results were spectacular. Not only were the animals totally unaffected by me sitting outside the blind, but I was also able to get away with quite a bit of movement as well. Well, it wasn't long before I saw this good warthog heading into water.
And now, it's time for this week's HECS Close-Up.
This week's HECS Close-Up is brought to you by Jonah Stout from Team Dead On. Jonah's set up on the edge of a green field, and this Jake rolls in and starts flogging the decoy. You know, Jonah does want to shoot the Jake, but he sees this as a perfect opportunity to see how much he can get away with using his HECS gear.
Judging by the fact that I just crawled within, I don't know, 5 foot of that turkey, I'd say the HECS suit works pretty good. What about you guys?
Thanks again to Jonah Stout and Team Dead On for sending in this week's HECS Close-Up. Hunters across the country and around the world are raving about the experiences that they're seeing while using their HECS suits. You know, science has found that animals, birds, and fish are able to pick up on minor electrical changes in their electrical environment. A lot of the initial study was done on how birds, animals, and fish navigate. It's what really runs the internal compass. They're picking up that minor change in the Earth's electromagnetic field. Well, every living being also creates an electrical field that's very similar. Through heart rate and muscle movement, we're creating electrical fields that are traveling distance, and we now know that that's one of the ways when animals get in close, they know that they're close to another big living being. That's when the other senses go on alert and things get real tough if you're out there in the hunting woods. If you look closely at the fabric, you'll see a highly electrically conductive carbon yarn woven in a specific grid pattern. This electrically conductive carbon yarn is sized and shaped to block the electrical energy that's created by our body. By blocking these electrical fields, you're going to look more like an inanimate object than you ever thought possible. You know, visual camo and scent control is still important, but the HECS technology gives you an advantage that you've never had before. If you haven't experienced the HECS advantage for yourself, don't delay. Get a HECS suit on the way, because it's going to make a difference in your next hunt.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. We'll be back to see how Mike's idea pans out right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. When we left Mike Slinkard before the break, he was drawing his bow on a nice warthog while sitting in the wide open, only 10 yards away. Now let's get back to the hunt.
That was so cool. That hawk was right here, maybe 15 yards. The shot's a little back further than I wanted, but I think it's going to be good. So give him a little time.
Phil Phillips, host of Phil Phillips Unleashed, was in the area and joined up with the HECS crew on their recovery.
You know, like I said, guys, until you've been to Africa, you don't have any idea how jumpy this stuff is.
Especially these guys are the bottom of the food chain. Everything likes to eat them. So a mature boar has been around a long time because he's really smart. And that's why we wanted to get outside the blind and get something like a pigger and impala, because they're the two wariest animals over here. They're typical jump the string and get 15 yards and draw right in plain sight.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about HECS.
Yeah, he had no idea we were anywhere close.
We still had plenty of time left in the day, so I decided to continue my vigil sitting outside the blind just to see what else might show up. Right, we've got the other hog taken care of. We're going to set up and see what else comes in, so here we go. One of the biggest attributes of wearing HECS technology is that animals are much calmer and not as easily alerted to your presence. As I sat there, I had kudu and impala 8 to 10 yards away, going about their business like I wasn't even there. It's this calming effect that keeps animals in the area, and I think it really helps improve your chances that that trophy animal that's lurking back in the brush will finally step out and give you an opportunity that you wouldn't have had without HECS. Well, I finally got bored of just sitting there, so I decided to mess around with this warthog a little, just to see what I could get away with. Anyone who's hunted Africa knows just how skittish warthogs are. But I'm waving my hands, moving all around, and it ignores me like it would a weed waving in the wind. I even draw my bow with it looking right at me, and finally, after an unreal amount of movement, it decided to move back into the brush until it could figure out what just happened. A few minutes later, I see a big wildebeest bull heading my way.
Yeah, like I said, the HECS Advantage is something that you've got to try it and see it for yourself. And it is a big deal, and it's something that really does work.
Absolutely.
Well, I'd like to take a second to talk about the HECS suit itself. First off, it's very lightweight and very breathable. Most people will wear it as an underlayer. However, you can wear it as an outer layer or anywhere in between. You're still going to get the benefit of the HECS technology. Also, new for 2015, we have a few features. Number one, our head net features a drawstring so you can customize it to fit any hunting situation. Also, we have an embroidered logo, surge stitching, thumb holes, so it's easy to get on underneath. Due to customer request, we have added a fly to this year's pants. We also have the drawstring. The pants are cut kind of like sweatpants, so they're very adjustable. When you order your HECS suit, you're going to want to order it by your t-shirt size. So for instance, if you wear an extra large t-shirt, that's the size you're going to want to order in your whole suit. We've did a lot of research and we've had very good luck with our sizing that way. So your HECS suit package contains 3 pieces, the shirt, pant, and the head cover. But new for 2015 and sold separately are our HECS 6-pocket pants. We're really excited about these. They're a cotton-based 6-pocket pants with the HECS technology woven right in. So if you want a pant that's a little heavier and that kind of thing, 6-pocket pant is going to be the way to go. Also, we have our HECS gloves. They're a very stretchy, one-size-fits-all glove for use in any kind of situation, whether they're a liner glove or all by themselves. And also, we have our HECS ball cap. These have been very popular. They're made out of the HECS material, real lightweight, real breathable. Of course, has a nice HECS logo. If you haven't yet tried the HECS technology, you need to get one on the way today. The new features of the suit are super nice, and I know you're going to like it. If you have already got a HECS suit and you've seen the technology in action, try the 6-pocket pants, the gloves, and the hat. They're great accessories to add to your HECS ensemble. So don't delay. There's no time like right now to get a HECS suit on the way, and you'll start seeing the HECS Advantage for yourself.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. The encounters keep getting closer, and when we get back, it gets even crazier. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS.
So far, we've taken animals from inside a ground blind. Then we set outside a ground blind in the wide open out on a dirt hump. So now I'm itching to push the limits of my HECS suit even further. I tell my PH Gary I want to spot and stalk with my bow. He thinks I'm crazy, but he's seen enough already to make him a HECS believer. So we headed into the bush on foot towards a small water hole. We've got some wildebeest and zebras spotted over here. We're going to try spot and stalk. So go around here and try to ease in on them. As we closed in, we saw an entire herd of wildebeest at the water. Dozens of eyes and ears, all listening for any sign of trouble, was too much for me to resist. I'd already taken a nice wildebeest bull, but the challenge of getting into bow range with this many animals was just too tempting to pass up. Telling this story around the campfire would have been labeled a tall tale, but I have a camera with me so you can see it happen in real time. This entire herd stands and lets us stalk right into bow range. Well, I'm moving a lot to get into position. I'm checking the yardage and intentionally pushing the limits of my HECS suit. Without HECS, this would be unthinkable, but as you can see, we get away with every bit of it with barely a reaction from any of them.
Oh, I knew he was big. Oh, man. Look at that thing. Holy cow. Huge hooks. Just a great, great bull. Oh, I tell you what, again, this place is unbelievable. There as far as, you don't see wildebeest bulls like this every place. You just don't. And, you know, we did this the hard way, spot and stalk, walked up, and, I mean, we were in the open of these things, you know, 33 yards. And just a phenomenal experience, a great place.
HECS technology is changing the way hunters pursue their game nationwide and around the world. You know, it's scientifically known that animals have the ability to pick up very minor changes in their electrical environment. As hunters, we've all seen this. When a big animal gets in close, it's usually not very long, and he knows that there's something in his environment that he needs to check out. Birds actually see these fields visually. When there's an electrical field associated with movement, they know that they're looking at something that's alive, and one of the things that they really need to pay attention to. Inanimate objects such as branches and grass that are blowing on the wind don't have an electrical field. And that's one of the reasons why a turkey or waterfowl can pick up your movement even when there's all kinds of movement going on around it. By blocking these fields, when animals get in close, you're going to be able to get away with a little more movement, and you're going to be less detectable than you ever have been before. If you haven't seen the HECS technology in action for yourself, go online to HECSLLC.com, click on the dealer page, and you can see the dealer nearest you. Or call us at 541-575-HECS. That's 541-575-4327. We look forward to getting a suit to you and also to hearing your great HECS experiences. Join the tens of thousands of hunters out there who know the HECS advantage. Call us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts.
You've seen some amazing encounters in this episode, and we tell folks about the HECS benefits all the time. But until you witness it and actually experience the HECS benefit for yourself, it's really hard to understand just how much of an effect HECS can have. We make it easy and affordable to get your own HECS suit right here while watching the program. Make that call today and get your own HECS suit on the way and experience the amazing benefits for yourself. As for our part, we'll continue to push the boundaries and bring it to you every week right here on Hunting with HECS.
If you have a great HECS encounter that you'd like to share with us, please contact us through our website. If we use it on the air, you'll be entered to win a hunt with Great Texas Hunts. As an added bonus, with each HECS purchase, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. Get those pictures and video coming, and you could be the lucky winner of this great hunt. You can find out more on our website at HECSLLC.com.